Hi everyone, welcome back to Vocal Arts. I'm your host, Peter Barber, professional singer and music producer. Today I'm showing you guys my full conversation with the beast from the Middle East, the Prince of Egypt. You know I'm talking about Marwan Ayman, who I'm so proud to call both a collaborator and a friend at this point. And we're really looking forward to the day we can actually get together in person and make some great projects. But before we get into the conversation, I want to show you guys some of my favorite clips from Marwan's career as a musical performer. Check it out.
Get down, but I keep on climbing up. Get down, get down.
Stuck in a little zone since 1987. Join us, be a friend, or just be stuck in the pen. After all, you only got.
Where is it you've been? Our game of hide and seek's about to end. I'm coming closer. Shadow of the moon at night, filling your dreams through the brim with fright. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Like a Arabian day, they seem to excite. Take off and take flight to shock and amaze. Arabian nights, like Arabian dreams.
Hello everyone, wherever you are watching or listening from. I am here with Marwan Ayman. Marwan, who are you, man? Tell the people who you
Hello.
are and what you're up to these days.
Well, hello. I am Marwan Ayman. I am a 20-year-old college kid from Egypt with a passion for acapella music, basically, or just music in general. I like singing. I've been singing since I was like 5. Been doing acapella music since I was 15 years old. Joined the bass gang at 17, and here we are. Basically, it's going great so far. I'm really enjoying it.
What a resume for a 20-year-old. That's so much more than most people are doing in the music world at 20.
Mhm.
So that was actually one of my first questions was kind of your upbringing. I've heard a little bit about it, just, being friends with you for the last few years, but yeah, what was the household like musically growing up? I know your dad is in music of some kind.
Yeah. Well, I come from a very musically inclined family. My dad is a singer, my mom is a singer. They both play a bunch of instruments. My sister sings, my aunt sings, like all of our family pretty much. And I was in this, I don't want to call it a choir. It was like a mix between a choir and like a musical theater type thing, in our local opera house. Um, from the age of 7 until the age of 18, I was in that choir for like 11 years. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I just played a bunch of instruments, started on guitar first at like 11 years old, then tried out the piano. Um, and then I really got into singing. Like I have been singing since like a very young age, but I never actually tried to like practice and get into it. I like most of my early ages, I just only took it as like some sort of side hobby, but I really started to get into it in my later years, like 16, 17-ish. Around the same time when I started doing the whole acapella thing, pretty much.
Yeah, I think you posted your first cover when you were like 16, right?
15 years old.
15.
Yeah.
What cover was
It
that?
was it was an Arabic song called Qalbi Muftahu, which means my heart and its key. Really old song. But I enjoyed it at the time. Like I thought it was the best thing ever. Now looking back at it, it's I hate it so much. I cannot stand to watch it, honestly.
Dude, that's such a good sign of growth though, as an
I
artist.
agree. I agree. Yeah. That's
Um,
that's the only reason why I still have it up on my channel. Like I would have deleted it otherwise, but I still have it up there just to look back at it every once in a while
I
and just admire
completely
that growth.
I completely agree. This whole album I'm producing, which you'll be a part of,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very heavily leaning towards taking a lot of what I currently have on my streaming off and just leaving like
No way.
maybe a few songs from my kind of journey as the solo acapella thing. Like
Yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll I'll keep the song with Bobby. I'll probably keep like Creep and Sound of Silence. But
Oh,
for the
absolutely.
but for the rest of them, it might be like, hey, if you want the audio versions of these songs, join my Patreon.
I mean, fair enough.
Because like the new album is
Why
going to
not?
be, it's like Enemy. It's this dubstep bass singer
Yeah.
or big orchestration kind of stuff. It's so different. So if someone listens to like our song that we have coming out and they listen to like, I don't know, my acapella version of the Avatar theme song, they're gonna be like, how is this the same artist? I have no
Yeah.
idea what's
It's
going
not the
on.
same guy. It's entirely different production.
Entirely
Everything's
different.
so different about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first cover I saw you do was which song was it? It was Imagine Dragons for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
it was Believer by Imagine Dragons. And
Believer, that's
that,
right.
yeah, that song was how I got into the Bass Singing Nation ambassador program, basically.
Yep.
Which led to the Bass Gang, of course. But when I joined the Bass Gang, not Bass Gang, when I joined the Bass Singing Nation, it was around the same time I released that Believer cover, and it gained a whole lot of traction from like the bass community. And then Casper, actually, he was the admin of the server at the time. He just invited me to the ambassador program, and at the time I was looking up to all of these people, like Tommy, like Fa, like Chris Cosby, like all the people in the ambassador program. I was, wow, I'm gonna be involved with all these people. Yeah, that's great. And then I didn't hesitate. I was like, yeah, sure. And basically just all started from there.
Yeah.
That one Believer cover. I think the cover after that, I think it was Spooky Scary Skeletons. That was when I decided like I want this thing to be my actual career. Like those first few covers, I was just doing it like for fun because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed singing, I enjoyed arranging, doing all these intricate stuff with my arrangements, and yeah. But I never thought I would like take as an actual career.
Those covers are
Yeah.
great though, man. I mean, I know that was early in your
Oh, thank you.
career, but I remember seeing that one and I had no idea how you video edited it because like at me at the time was literally, I was doing my one take for each voice part and just
Yeah.
like they just stayed where they were on screen. I would
It's
walk
on
off screen
screen.
and walk back on screen. And so I saw that cover of Believer and I was like, how the hell is this kid putting all this together? This looks amazing. And it sounded really great too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had my dad help me with a lot with the mixing and a lot of my earlier stuff. He's an audio producer. He's been an audio producer for years now. Really good mixing engineer. So he I don't want to say he helped me with mixing. He just full on mixed my first couple of covers, and then he slowly started teaching me. Um, and until like now, I just do everything myself pretty much. He doesn't get involved in it at all. But earlier on, he would help a lot with the mixing and recording and stuff like that. I didn't even know how to like work a DAW or anything, or how to record my own voice. So he helped me with a lot of that.
So a couple questions on your dad. What kind of music does he mix primarily?
Not acapella at all. He kind of struggled with mixing it for the first time, but it did turn out like really good for first time mixing acapella. Um, but he doesn't really work on like one specific genre of music. Like yeah, it's mostly like Middle Eastern type Oriental stuff. But he also gets into like classic pop. I don't want to call it pop, but I don't know. Like modern, it's still Egyptian, but modern stuff.
Does he work mostly with
Yeah.
people? Are you in Alexandria?
Yes, Alexandria, Egypt.
Does he work primarily with artists from around the area?
Um,
Or do they
I
send him
mean,
files online and he mixes and sends them back? Or
yeah, that's mostly it from all around the country, pretty much. Doesn't have to be necessarily in Alexandria.
cool. And he's
But
been
yeah,
able to make a full career out of audio engineering.
yeah. Audio engineering, arranging, composing,
Really?
singing. Yeah. He also plays the guitar, piano, and a bunch of other like Middle Eastern instruments. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So I assume he's been, and probably your family at large has been supportive of you pursuing music since it's such a big part of the
Oh
family.
yeah, absolutely. Maybe at the start they were like a bit skeptical of how this could grow to be like a sustainable living, if that makes any sense. They were kind of worried about that, but once they saw like all the response to my covers, all the traction it's getting, they fully supported it 100%.
And what is is music as a career common in Egyptian culture, or is that something that's generally
No.
frowned upon and like,
Yes.
okay, that's what I would have guessed, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it is definitely frowned upon because it's not easy for you to make it as a musician over here, especially in the Egyptian music community. Um, it is very rare for someone to that's why, like, okay, so my first cover was an Arabic song. It got a bunch of traction over here in Egypt, but most of the people watching didn't really understand what I was doing. Like, whoa, just there's a bunch of Marwans on screen. Yeah, cool. What is he doing? Like, what is acapella is not popular here at all. It is not well known. But as soon as I released my second cover, which was Gangster's Paradise, and I tried to market that to a wider audience, not just over here in Egypt. To this day, still, Gangster's Paradise is the second most viewed video on my channel, right after Copycat.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not. Since then, I decided, nah, I'm not gonna try and make music dedicated for the Egyptian fan base or the Egyptian music community. I'm gonna spread out a lot more, and I just started doing only English covers, and I doubt I'll ever make an Arabic cover again. Maybe just every once in a while, I don't know, but I'm gonna stick to just English stuff.
Yeah, I mean, American pop really does dominate the world music
Oh
industry.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
only rivaled recently by some of the big K-pop artists coming out, but even so, they're not stacking up against Taylor Swift or Kanye or
Yeah,
Olivia Rodrigo.
no way.
Even someone like BTS, which is probably the biggest, they're probably the biggest group outside of the US, I would say. I think they get like 30 million monthly listeners on Spotify, which is insane.
That is
It's
absurd.
absolutely bonkers, but like, Taylor Swift gets over 100 million.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which scales, but yeah, they're doing extremely well. I mean, BTS is fantastic. It's been fun to dive into the K-pop stuff for the analysis videos because some of the music is crazy,
I can imagine. Yeah.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
My my
um,
my my sister had like a K-pop phase. So yeah, I had to listen to a lot of K-pop back then. And yeah, some of it is actually like pretty good.
yeah, no, honestly, it's really heavily produced. It's got a lot of electronic elements in there. What's amazing about K-pop artists to me is they're all great singers and great dancers.
Yeah.
Which was a thing. That was a thing in American pop music earlier in like previous decades. Now it's
The
only
boy band era.
boy band era. Now you only like I don't know if you watch the Super Bowl or if anyone gives a shit about the Super Bowl over there,
Nope.
but Usher, if you've heard of Usher, did the
Yeah.
halftime show, and he's one of those artists like he's like a Justin Timberlake where he can sing, he can dance, he's got all the moves, and it was so cool to watch the show and kind of look back into the past a little bit of like American hip hop and pop music where
Mhm.
these people all work kind of like the triple threat where they can do it all. And now that
Yeah.
now that just seems to be less important.
Doesn't matter as much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So acapella music, I mean, obviously it's not popular in Egypt like you said.
Mm.
In your opinion, since you've started, how have you kind of seen acapella change and what do you think acapella groups need to be doing nowadays to kind of keep the genre alive? Because we're no longer really riding the wave of like Pitch Perfect and when Pentatonics first blasted on the scene and the sing off. Now we've kind of got to, innovate the style to keep people into it.
I think, like, how do I phrase this? With the different trends that are coming out recently, like the whole sea shanty thing, for example, that entered the acapella scene and just blew it up. Like, look at the Wellerman, for example. They're not doing all necessarily acapella, but some of their stuff are popping off. Bass Gang has been doing shanties, and look at that. So like there are like these trends that every once in a while just come into the scene, the acapella scene, and just
Yeah.
blow it up even more.
Traditional acapella is very much like transcription arrangements, right? Where you just take the instruments, you write those parts into voices. Like
Yeah,
as much as I love Home Free and respect them, a lot of their arrangements have been very simple in that way, very
I agree.
transcription-y in a lot of way. Do you think that still works as an acapella artist? Do you think those kinds of covers can still be popular, or do you think, you need to do big twists on the arrangement like voice play does, like the bass gang does, to in the acapella world going forward?
I don't think you necessarily need to. Like I've seen some creators out there growing exponentially with just like transcription arrangements, as you would call it. Um, but just putting your own touch on it, putting your own twist on it, I think is always better. Like when you're looking, when you like, there's a song that you like and you're looking for covers out there, you're looking for something new. And when you look up like an acapella cover, you don't want to, like I personally at least, I don't want to just be listening to like a direct acapella transcription of the original song. I want to hear what you can do with it. That's why I really enjoy voice play covers. That's why I really enjoy like sometimes Peter Holland's covers. And that's why I personally never like to just copy the original elements of the original song and just doing them a cappella. And I always have like some sort of crazy way to completely transform it around.
Yeah.
Inspired by Lane Stein. He's
Oh
like I
man,
think my favorite arranger in the whole community, honestly.
he's so creative.
Yeah.
What he does, so creative. If you guys haven't watched the interview with Lane, go check it out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think if you start from ground zero now, I think it really helps to have some kind of twist because there's so many
100%.
people
Yeah.
there's so many people competing and trying to make it in the virtual space. If you're not standing out in some way, you're going to be forgotten about immediately. I think it's one of the reasons that the bass gang has such potential is because it's very unlikely you'll listen to a bass gang song and forget about it.
Mhm.
Whether you
I
like
agree.
it or not, whether you like it or not, whether it's too bassy or too war chanty or
Yeah,
whatever, you will probably not forget about it.
I agree.
I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty
there's always
critical.
gonna be that one thing that makes it different from the original piece that just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah,
That is unique to that one group or that one artist.
exactly. Also, back to Copycat, that song is still a banger.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I love it.
I'm not surprised it's the top release on your channel. I mean, we came out swinging with the Billie Eilish songs. We really did.
Honestly, like I remember back when we decided we're gonna do Billie Eilish songs, I listened through her like top 30 hits or something, and then I sent you guys on the group like this list of like the 10. I don't know if you remember that, but like the 10 most popular Billie Eilish songs, and that's what I thought we should choose from. And I instantly chose Cop for some reason. I don't know why. I instantly gravitated towards Copycat, and I knew, yeah, that's the one I want to do. And yeah, I think it turned out incredible. So did all other three. We came out banging with that with that EP. Yeah, I love
We
it.
did, man. I would kill to be able to go back and remix Therefore I Am. Otherwise, I think like as an arrangement, it's like it's one of the ones where I think the main element I changed was like all of her very speech like rap
Mm,
singing. I turned into like harmonies, which worked really well. That was like really cool. But yeah, I just wish I could go back and mix it again
mm.
because I was just didn't know what I was doing. I was like so early
I
in my acapella journey.
I I can definitely relate. I wish I could do the same with Copycat and with a bunch of my older releases as well. Like they had
Yeah.
so much potential, good arrangements, but just bad mixing.
Just
So
like
yeah,
just like the sound is so thin, like
yeah.
I didn't know how to bus sounds the right way to like
Ah,
fill out the empty space with the right amount of delay and reverb and like stereo widening sounds and stuff like that. That's what I am figuring some shit out on this album. I can't wait to show you all the songs because
nice.
like you put on some nice headphones and it's like this whole world. And that just
Yeah.
and of course you can do more of like it's tough to do that with just voices anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm almost done, by the way. Like I'm
Nice.
like getting pretty close to done. There's like a couple more people I might try to get to sing a vocal or
How
something.
many how many songs are there now in
It's like
total?
11.
That is crazy.
Dude, I've put
Dude.
together like 4 or 5 start to basically finish in the last like 2 weeks. Like I've just been on it.
Dude,
I'll just sit down and it's crazy. I'm just on a roll, like
I
completely on a
love it.
roll.
I love it.
And it's fun because I just want to make sure I do it every day. You know, some days
Mm,
go better than others, but if you do it every day, you also feel your skill really polishing. You're like, you find a part and you're like, I know exactly what kind of sample I need to put here. You know,
mm.
as opposed to like just going through thousands of samples being like, oh, I have no idea. And then, you know, waiting until one just sounds right. You like kind of you get a vision for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
So you've been a cappella as a solo artist since you started, but you play other instruments. Have you also yourself considered branching away from a cappella, kind of like how the bass gang has, at least like maybe adding a little bit here or there to your a cappella music?
I think, yeah, one day I'm gonna have to do that. Like, I don't think I'm gonna fully stick to a cappella for the rest of my career. It'll always be my main focus, like honestly. A cappella always has a place in my heart, but if I ever decide to do covers that are not mainly a cappella, they're not gonna like my channel is still gonna be mostly a cappella. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Answering your question, yes, definitely will branch out soon. To like actual instrumental stuff. I was thinking about this is a different question, but I was thinking about doing originals, not just instrumentals, but original stuff soon actually.
That's so
Still,
exciting.
I still don't have any like set plans for that, but I want to do it someday.
Yeah, you totally should. I feel very similarly. I've written a lot of original music for choir and for electronic, but like
Mm.
songwriting for some reason is so intimidating to me.
I want to try and get into it. Yeah, but yes, I agree. It is difficult.
Especially artists like us who have done so many covers and we've really
Yeah.
we've figured out how to take a cover and put a huge twist on it and make it our own, right? To the point where YouTube doesn't even recognize it sometimes. But that's still building off, you know, someone else's original material and getting inspired from that as opposed to doing something out of nothing. And I think if I were better at guitar or I were better at piano, I would feel better about starting to songwrite because then I could just
Mm.
noodle around with chords really fluently and picking or whatever. But I'm not quite fluent enough on either of those instruments to be able to like have a good clean songwriting session. For me, would have to be like lyrics first or find a chord progression and then just write lyrics to it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I do play piano, guitar, and all that stuff, but not to the point where I can just bust out like chords and stuff and try to on the spot write a song. Like I can't do that. So yeah,
Right.
if I end up do uh if I end up doing originals, it would just be like writing a melody line or like something like that, and then seeing what the chord progression for it would be and writing all the
Yeah.
harmonies and stuff. But yeah, that's how it would start basically.
Yeah. What is your arrangement process like nowadays? Like tell us how a song for you goes from start to finish.
Okay, well, back then, what I used to do was I would just sit in front of the mic and just spew out whatever comes to my mind. That's how I would arrange it at the beginning. But I transitioned into arranging in MIDI, which is I think is better. So you just get to hear how it would sound like before you record it, because once you record it, it's such a hassle. Like if you want to change it or do any edits, you have to re-record all of it again. Just listening to it beforehand is more efficient, I would say. So that's how I do it now. So yeah, my process, I choose the song, which is tough. choosing a song is tough. Um, I start arranging on MIDI before getting into the DAW at all for recording anything. I arranged it on MIDI. Finish that.
Let me put a pin in there just to
Yeah,
tell people what MIDI is and DAW. So MIDI is just information basically. And if you have what's called a piano roll, well, it looks like a little piano in your DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, and you can basically plug in notes, which is just data, but then you put a virtual instrument in coordination with that data, and then it plays whatever you've written in the MIDI.
exactly. Yeah,
Move pin. Go
yeah.
on.
Nice. I should have clarified that myself. Thank you.
It's okay. Like
Uh,
if you get into audio engineering, it is a totally different language, you know?
uh-huh.
So sometimes I mean, half of what I do in the analysis videos, I'm like, I know people aren't probably understand this, but
Yeah. So yeah, I just start my arrangements in MIDI, and then I move on to actual recording. I usually start with the percussion, just lay all of that out for the entire song, not just go section by section, but just lay out the percussion for the entire track. Um, then honestly, there's no specific order to which I record after that. Maybe it's the bass line, maybe it's the background parts, but always I leave the lead to be the last thing I record, just so I can get the full feeling, the full vibe of the song when I record the lead. Like I don't like just recording the lead to a metronome or something like that. So arrangements in MIDI, recording the percussion, recording background and bass, all the little like any crazy moments or stuff that happens in the arrangements, all of that is planned in MIDI first. Like I arrange the entire thing digitally, and then I record it. That's pretty much how it goes. Then mixing, mastering. On the video side, again, I used to write like a whole storyboard for the video and how it's gonna go. But that ended up being very time consuming. So what I would do is just film myself on a green screen, bunch of different angles. And then I would just have the creative freedom to just do whatever the hell I want in the video editing process.
Yeah.
Storyboards are just very time consuming to do nowadays.
Yeah, I think critical for like a short film, or of course like a feature film or like a series. But for a green screen music video, I mean,
there's no need.
I haven't done my own video editing in a long time, but what is useful as far as I can tell is just having a lot of options to use.
I agree. Yeah. Just all different angles and just mess around with it however you like in the editing program. That's how I usually do it now.
Yeah. And can you run down a little bit about your mixing process, if you have a specific order of events you do? And mixing, for people that are curious, is you have all the sounds recorded, you have all the virtual instruments in there, and then you need to go in and EQ things, which means do things to the frequencies of each instrument to clear things up. For example, if you have two instruments and both of them are really heavy in like the mid frequencies, say like 500 to 1,000 hertz, you might go in and remove the frequencies from one of those instruments to clear up part of the middle of the mix. And then there's compression, which is evening out the sounds, and a number of other things. But that's what mixing is. It's basically taking everything you've done and making it sound really clean.
Yeah. I would say to this day, actually, my mixing process, I think, just changes depending on the song. Like every time I learn new stuff that I want to do in the next song and in the next song and so on. So there's nothing really specific that I do, but I just go by the order of the tracks that I have, which is usually like the kick drum, snare drum, rest of the percussion stuff, bass line, add in the background parts, then the lead. That's usually the order of how I go through it. All the specific like effects and plugins that I use do change every time. Like there's nothing specific for like there's nothing generally specific. It changes like per song, I would say.
Do you compress all your tracks individually?
Yes. Okay. 100%.
And EQ?
For like all the background parts, I just send them into a bus. Just one EQ on all of them. But then it's different EQ for the rest of it. For each and every single percussion part gets its own EQ treatment, and then for the lead and for the bass line.
And how about mastering? Do you master your own tracks?
Yes, I do mastering myself, and there's this handy little tool called Ozone by a company called Isotope, which you just run your song through this plugin, and it just analyzes it, listens to it, and builds this whole mastering chain with like AI, or I don't know how it works, but it just analyzes your track, builds like a mastering chain, and then you would go into it and like edit a bunch of little stuff to get the desired product that you like. But yeah, Ozone is really helpful for that.
Is that worth it, you think?
100%.
I thought about getting that software.
Yeah, it is really helpful. It saves me a lot of time, honestly.
Okay. Do you put it on your master bus, or do you export the mix and then put that into a new project and then run it? So the mix is just one sound file.
Yeah. Does that make a difference? I don't know. I just put it into like the main master bus.
I always master in my mix project. But like if we send, but you know, if like Ed sends a mix to Bill, for example,
Yeah,
he's gonna get one audio file that he
yeah,
masters.
yeah, like a pre-master file. I
Yeah.
still don't know what that entails, like what a pre-master specifically is,
So
honestly.
I think, and this is just what I've observed, basically working with Ed and Bill and other people who've been doing this for a while. It seems like when Ed sends us a mix,
Mm,
it's basically at the volume of the master. It's
I
like,
noticed that, yeah.
you know, it peaks at, you know, probably negative point one or negative point three if like
Mm.
it's for streaming or something. But then the pre-master is the clean mix, but with a lot more headroom. And then he sends it over to Bill, and then Bill boosts it and tweaks it so it's just kind
Ah,
of right.
okay, okay.
Because I think otherwise, I wouldn't think it wouldn't be very different from a mix. And usually the master doesn't sound all that different. It's just a little bit fuller in certain parts, and I think that's because Ed mixes it probably mixes it to the pre-master level, then just throws some simple mastering thing on it and
Yeah,
sends it to us so we can have an idea about what it will kind of sound like as a master. I think that's I don't
he
know if
has
that's
to be doing that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that's
Honestly,
I don't know if that's standard, industry standard, or if it's just what he does, but I think that's what's going on.
I would think so as well. Yeah, because listening to like the master files we get from like Bill or whoever, and then listening to the mix files we got from Ed, you can notice like a slight difference, but
Yeah,
it's not that huge of a difference. I think
no,
Ed does do like a preset master to it before exporting to us.
must be. That's been my interpretation.
Mhm.
So, dude, CARA nominations. How you feeling?
Yeah,
That's really
I
tell people what that is and how you're feeling about it.
yeah. So the CARA Awards, the what's it called, Contemporary Acapella Recording Awards, are like basically the most prestigious, I think, and the only uh like big award in the acapella community. It's been
Yeah.
going on since like 92.
Hmm.
Uh and I got two nominations for them for my This Is Halloween cover. I got one for best solo performer and best soundtrack song because the song is from Nightmare Before Christmas. So yeah, how do I feel, bro? I still can't even believe it. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
I would never have thought. Yeah, I'm really proud of This Is Halloween, and I do think it's my biggest accomplishment in my entire career. But to get nominated for a car award is just crazy. I still can't believe it,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's really exciting. It really is like the big, you know, as big as acapella awards get. It's
Yeah,
you know, short of Pentatonics that goes to the Grammys, but they're the
yeah,
only
yeah,
group
yeah,
that ever is going to do
yeah.
that.
Pretty much.
You know, yeah, it's you know national awards for acapella music, and there's a bunch of different categories. Like for groups, they have collegiate, you know, male and female or mixed, and then
Mm,
semi-professional and then fully professional. So the bass gang we're currently calling semi-professional because we do make money from it, but it's not everyone's full-time uh,
yeah.
job, essentially. Does solo performer have any breakdown like that, or is the category just solo
There's just
performer?
one category, best solo performer. That's it.
Who else is nominated? Surely we know some of these names.
I No, I haven't heard of any of the other
Really?
nominees on that category. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I looked them up. Great songs, but not that big of a following as I thought it would.
Yeah. I mean, I guess trying to think who else is still like making a bunch of solo stuff. Like Peter's still doing some projects. Like
Yeah,
Jared
Jared
Haley's
Haley.
still doing projects. So, I mean, those are most of the big solo.
Yeah, these are the only big names I can think of.
Like there are like two more that I can't.
There is obviously more, but
Nick
uh,
something. There's a couple more big ones, but
yeah.
not many really.
Hmm. I but like it is crazy to get nominated for a category like that, and then the other one I'm going against the bass gang on that category, and then like two or three other people as well. But yeah, let the best arrangement win.
A friend
We'll
like
see.
me versus This Is Halloween.
Obviously, I'll be happy either way, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No, they're both bangers.
it is exciting.
They're really great. Cool, man. Okay. What are some like musical and career goals for you? Channel growth or working with certain people, winning a
Right.
CARA?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just honestly taking it step by step. I want to just keep grinding, keep working, and see where that takes me. That's just all I'm thinking about at the moment. Obviously, I want to do reach like the big subscriber milestones, and I want to
Hmm.
like do big collaborations, whether it's with my solo career or with the bass gang, like pretty just standard goals. Um, but I just want to focus on just currently just keep working, keep grinding, see where it takes me.
I
That's my
literally have,
mindset.
I literally have just keep going written in huge letters in my bedroom.
Yes, I love it.
I put that up like a few weeks ago because if ever I'm, you know, feeling not satisfied with channel growth or feeling satisfied about a project or something, I literally just think those words because I know, and I'm sure you feel the same way, so many things I'm doing are very obviously on the right track and they're
Oh
working,
yeah,
right? Like the music's getting better, the media's all growing, the bass gang's growing, the YouTube channel's growing. We're working with it, the revenue's going up, like everything is going very clearly in the right direction. Just keep going.
exactly.
Just
Yeah,
keep
I love it.
grinding. Just keep putting out content that you know is high quality, right?
100%.
So I'm right there with you. I love that.
Yeah,
It's such a powerful thing. Just keep going. Just keep going, man.
precisely.
Very cool. I'm actually really curious what college life is like over there in Egypt, and maybe it's different for you versus other students because I think you're living at home with the family. Is that
Mm.
standard or are there dorms? I know nothing about this life, but I'm very interested to hear about it.
Yeah, well, the whole moving out from your family's house thing isn't even like a thing over. You move out when you get
Really?
married. That's it.
Oh my
You don't move
gosh.
out when you're 18 or when you're anything like that. Um, but yeah, college life obviously way different. The whole dorm thing isn't really as popular. Yeah, in some colleges there is, but not really as popular over here. Um, it is I go 5 days a week from like 8 a.m. to like 2 p.m. Depends on the lectures that I have. And my college specifically, I go to the Faculty of Specific Education is what it's called, and I'm in the music department. There's like a bunch of different departments. It's a hard word to pronounce. Um, I basically learn music education, like how to teach music to children in schools and stuff. And actually, one of my classes this semester, I do like field training. Like I actually go to schools, like middle school classes, and like teach there, which is great. Like a great experience to have. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't think it's really much difference.
So what kind of music classes are you taking? Are you taking music theory? Because I know when you started making acapella anyway, you didn't read music. You just,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Now,
went by ear.
now I do. I learn like basic music theory, sheet music. There are vocal classes, there are instrument classes. Basically just a wide range of just music related stuff.
Are you
Uh,
in ensembles with do they have like a choir or anything like that?
yes, but I'm not in it.
Okay.
I don't care for it, to be
They
honest.
would, dude, they would kill to have you singing bass two. They would kill.
I mean, maybe, but yeah, I'm just not interested in joining
Mm,
something like that over here.
mm. Okay, cool. And I assume there's, I mean, like American colleges and colleges in a lot of the world, like party culture is such a big thing. Like drinking,
Eh.
partying. I assume that's also absolutely
Nope.
non-existent over there.
Yeah, yeah, not at all. No.
Is
The
that
whole
religion based? That those parts of the
yeah,
culture just aren't a thing in Egypt?
I would say so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just culture based in general, not necessarily religion based.
Mm,
Um, just that's the way we grew up. Basically, the whole
yeah.
partying, like college life, and that whole mantra is non-existent over here.
I mean, if most people are living at home, of course
Yeah.
that pretty much chops it off.
Pretty much.
So, people you grew up with, did all of them stay in Egypt to go to school, or did anyone go abroad? Did anyone come over here?
My personal circle of friends like are still here in Egypt, and my family as well. Like uh, my uncle, maybe he went abroad to work in still in the Middle East though,
Hmm.
not very far away. Um, but nah, we're just all here in Egypt. I think it's mainly because how hard it is to get out of the country.
That's what we have found out firsthand.
Yep.
Yes. Do
Oh
you do
man.
you, do you do you someday envision yourself moving elsewhere, like a place like Los Angeles where music is huge, or
Moving out, no, I don't think so. Traveling a lot, yes, I would hope so. But I still want Egypt to be my main base of operations, basically.
okay.
Main reason is like obviously my income is in like US dollars, which is really strong over here.
Yeah.
Like um how do I put this into perspective? Like maybe what like a McDonald's worker makes in the US is the same as like the equivalent over here to what like a top tier engineer or doctor makes in Egypt. Yeah,
I,
the US dollar is a treasure over here, and I don't want to let that go, to be honest.
I have always assumed that you've got to be rolling as deep as a college kid can be rolling over there.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Gladly, yes.
I mean, that's great.
I'm I'm lucky to say that. Yeah.
That's really great, man. Okay, cool. So, and do you think traveling will be more possible for you at some point, easier at some point?
I would hope so. Yes, yes, yes. That is one of my main goals, to be able to actually travel abroad and meet up with people like you guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think once I get past college, and there's actually over here there's like mandatory like military service.
Okay.
And me personally, I don't have to go through it for reasons. There's like many different reasons that you don't have to go through it. I have one of those reasons,
Hmm.
but you still have to like apply for, I don't know what the word is in English. Like, yeah, apply for not having to go through that mandatory military service.
Okay.
Once you do that, I think traveling is going to be much easier. Making a passport is easier. All of that is easier. But until I do that, like I'm still enlisted, like as of
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
for like military service.
And what's the
Yeah.
what's the time frame on that? When will that process be over, so to
After
speak?
college.
After
So like
college?
in like a year and a half, more or
Are
less.
you a soft, I don't know what do you call it over there? Second year, third year?
Third year. Yeah.
Third, are you
I'm
really the third year now?
halfway through my third year. Yeah,
Gosh, that's
yeah.
crazy. So you were
Yeah.
the base gang
I
started before you went off for your freshman
yeah,
year,
I
right?
was
Like just
going through my
before.
high school final exams as I was arranging copycat. Yes.
That is really cool, actually.
Which I think caused me to fail chemistry, but totally worth it. To be honest.
And you're going into music anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
We don't need chemistry. Come on.
Yeah, chemistry, who cares?
Who cares? All right. Last thing before we get into Patreon questions, just any upcoming projects you want to talk about or pitch or get people excited about. And this episode I'm guessing will come out like early summer, like
Okay.
Mayish. So factor that in.
I am currently working on a cover of are you familiar with Kiss from a Rose by Seal?
Pentatonics did a version of it too, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I haven't heard
yeah.
it,
I'm
but
working on, it's so good. And the song itself, it is so underappreciated. I love it. I just fell in love with it as soon as I heard that Pentatonics cover. I just went and listened to the original. That was like early January. I've had it on repeat since then. It's such
wow,
a good song.
just bit
So
you.
I'm working on
Okay.
a cover of that. Yeah. It should be out by the time this episode releases. But other than that, I do have a lot of plans for the year. Very big arrangement for Bass Gang coming up as well.
Yes.
Excited for that.
Can we talk
I
about
don't
that?
want to reveal too much.
Will that be out by then? Let's talk about it because I can always cut the section if we can't reveal it yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. From the I was first. I first saw. I never actually saw the movie. I only listened to the soundtrack. It's such a good soundtrack, and the song itself. Um, I fell in love with the cover of it
Oh,
is actually my ringtone. I just love it. And of course, very famous for some of her stuff. Um, so I just thought that would be a good combo to have bass gang. Look at
yeah,
how is doing.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. I haven't even started arranging it yet. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Very
amazing.
excited for it.
And I guess Skull and Bones will be out by this point as well.
Oh yeah.
So guess what? We have no idea how that's going to go, but Bobby's arranging it, and we're very excited.
Only time will tell.
And then I guess we probably shouldn't talk about Volume 4 because that will probably we will probably be recording.
Yeah,
We'll be recording for that probably when this comes out.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get into Patreon questions.
Let's hear it.
We have a lot, and you know what? Because this is like family, and all these people are gonna still be watching. Let's just do all of them.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's
I'm
do
here.
it. Okay. Good Lord, this is a lot. And some of them are really long. All right, this is from Jan Cates down in Australia. I'm not going to read the whole thing in Australian accent. Not a question, more an observation that Marwan may like to comment on. I love the hilarity of the Base Gang Jeopardy that Casper runs. What intrigues me most is the writing
Oh
styles
boy.
when each of you holds your notes up to the camera. Peter is
Okay.
predictably precise in that he at least writes legibly between the lines. Bobby is pretty much the same, although his spelling is dodgy. Tommy at least starts at the top of the page and works his way down, if not necessarily between the lines. Then there's Marwan. By the time the show is finished, your notepad looks like it's covered in randomly placed
Oh my
dead
God. Wait,
spiders.
let me find it. Let me
It's in
find
a
it.
difficulty to accurately place notes when you write music. Maybe Casper Macy can insert screenshots. This is a long and interesting
Look at
question.
this. This is the Jeopardy board right there. These are all the answers. I just cross it out, and by the end of the episode, you just have this.
I see some
Um,
design there.
I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, great observation.
This is the last question. Is it difficult to accurately place notes when you write music? Well, you wouldn't be composing by sheet music anyway. That's for Mozart
Yeah,
and Handel.
yeah.
Very few people do. Eric Whitacre still does that. Eric Whitacre
Ah,
still puts pen to pad. Um, okay, maybe Casper or Mason can insert screenshots. Well, you just got a first-hand document at what that looks like. So thank you, Marwan, for providing that evidence to
absolutely.
your chaos. Okay, let's move on. Georgina Wilson. I listened to an interview where he said all his close family members are musical, but traditional music, which he didn't follow. What then does the majority of his home followers lean towards? And is Western music popular over there in Egypt, essentially?
To some degree, yes, but nothing compared to my current audience. That's
Okay.
basically how I would phrase it. That's the main reason I didn't want to continue doing like Arabic stuff, or in general just continue spreading my content to an Egyptian fan base. That's why I wanted to spread out.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
makes
Western
sense.
music, yes, it exists over
It
here, but
exists.
it is not that huge. No.
Okay. This is from Amanda. And some of these, we've certainly touched on, so you can give brief answers for the ones we've already covered essentially. But this is from Amanda Knott. When did he discover that he could sing, and how did he get into music production?
Um, I don't think it was me that discovered I could sing. It was my parents. My first performance was at 5 years old. So I can credit them for that. How did I get into music production? Ooh, I don't think I ever talked about this, but actually before acapella, I used to make like beats, like trap beats. on FL Studio. I
Hey.
there's like two of them on my channel if you scroll really far back. Um, but that didn't last long. I think that's how I got into like music production and then like actual audio, like vocal mixing. With the help of my dad, I got into it.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Next is from Susan Shonk. Hello, Marwan. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. You bring so much pleasure to those who know your abundant talent. We have a number
Thank
of
you.
questions from Susan. What is your favorite place to visit in Cairo? What is it like there?
Can I be blatantly honest?
Absolutely.
I hate Cairo with all of my heart. I don't like Cairo at all. I've been there. I've been to the pyramids like twice. Yeah, it's great for like tourists, but for me, it's like yeah, big whoop, just big triangles in the desert. Like, what's the big deal about it? But there are some very bad memories tied to Cairo for me. The whole visa
Hmm.
thing, like the embassy
Yeah.
was in Cairo. I had to go there twice. Once for application, once for like getting the actual result. I had to stay there in Cairo for a few days to appeal it again. I had to go there a third time to film Arabian Nights in the middle of the freaking desert. I just don't like it.
And get attacked by sand people.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let me touch on that a little bit. It wasn't necessarily get like raided by desert people, but like okay, so this land that we rented in the middle of the desert, like we actually have like a proper license and stuff, but there was some sort of misunderstanding when we were entering the that land to start filming. We set up all our equipment. I got into costume and everything, and like an hour or two later, we see these people coming in, like 4 or 5 people, just heading into the little camp we have, like that. They grab all the equipment, throw stuff around, like, who will let you in here? Who will let you get the hell out? Saying stuff like that, throwing all the equipment. I think one of the camera lenses got scratched, which caused that was a rented camera lens that caused a major problem for us. Um, at the end, it was just a really dumb misunderstanding, and they were the owners of this land, like the people that quote unquote raided us. But it was very violent. It was scary. And I was just sitting there, just standing there wearing this big costume with eyeliner on my face and this big hat. Actually, another fun fact, this is a total tangent, but I was going to film Arabian Nights with like one of those big hats that you wrap around your face.
Yeah.
And there are a few shots with me wearing that, but we just didn't end up using any of them. I thought it would look terrible. The director thought it looked great, so I just went with it. But then looking back at the footage, I was like, no, don't use any of this, please.
Mm.
Anyway, I was just standing there watching all of this happen, and until they finally sorted it out, and we just continued filming, which took off a big chunk of time, which led to the lamp scene at the end of Arabian Nights being filmed at night. That wasn't supposed to be filmed at night.
It looks great.
I think I think that was for the best. Yeah, it looks good at night.
I'm glad
With
with
the,
all
like
that
blue light.
struggle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, the sound design during that scene is really cool and really well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad Arabian Nights has turned out to be so highly successful, given all the trouble you
Dude,
went through.
it is crazy. To this day, I still have a hard time watching the video. To be quite honest with you, it just brings back bad memories, man. Of like the entire month of August was like a big struggle for me for many different reasons. The visa
Yes.
rejections, my PC breaking down like 3 times, not being able to work, getting COVID, staying in bed for
Oh,
days, and other personal stuff that happened back then. But
pretty
yeah,
much
that month of
rock
August
bottom.
was, yeah, that was just hell.
Brutal, man.
Um, yeah, and then the whole visa rejection, of course, and having to deal with that. Um, but yeah, I'm very happy with how Arabian Nights is doing, nonetheless.
Yes. Almost 300,000 on YouTube, over 100,000 on
Woo!
Spotify, plenty more on other streaming services. It's rolling.
Love it.
All right. I'm gonna do one question from each person because we've already got maxed out what I generally do for Patreon question time. Okay,
Understandable.
this is from Diane Antos. Thank you for doing this interview, Peter. Marwan, do you play or follow sports? Do you have a favorite team?
I don't follow sports, but okay. Is the WWE a sport or is it
No.
more of an
Uh,
Okay.
that's a great question. I wouldn't call it a sport.
Okay. I am a big wrestling nerd. I've been watching.
Really?
Okay. Fun fact. I started watching wrestling back in like 2012, 2013, when I got my first PlayStation 2 and it had WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2011. I remember the name of the game. I just played that game every day, learned all the wrestlers and stuff. I was 2012, I was like 8 years old. Uh, that was when I got into wrestling. I watched that like religiously for like 4 years until like 2016. I stopped watching, and then 2023 actually is when I started watching again. And to this day, I just a hardcore WWE fan.
That is, I never in a million years would have guessed. I'm surprised that hasn't gotten you into lifting weights, being so because they're all huge guys.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Eh, I mean, okay, this is a whole different topic, but for me to actually like go to the gym and lift weights and do stuff like that, I need to have like a huge diet, bro. I am skinny as hell. I need
You
to eat
do.
huge amounts of food, which I just don't want to do. So I just skip that whole thing.
Are people into fitness in Egypt?
Yeah,
I
totally.
would I would think so. I think some really great bodybuilders have actually come out of Egypt.
Yeah, I think
The
Mr.
middle
Olympia,
the Middle
Mr.
East for
Olympia was
sure.
what? I think Mr. Olympia was won by an Egyptian like a couple of years in a row.
Yeah, that
I don't know
that
if you're
very
familiar.
well that very well may be true. I keep up pretty closely with bodybuilding, actually. Love it.
Nice.
Absolutely love it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually want to ask her other question because it's a good one. If you could meet anyone alive today, who would you choose?
Wait,
So
what does
any
that mean?
like if you
Like
could meet any
anyone?
artist, any movie star, any politician, if you could meet anyone.
Uh, Jonathan Young. I don't even have to think about it.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Young.
Yes. Bro, I am a huge Jonathan Young fan. Like, before we did Centuries, I didn't know who he was. Like, I just knew the name Jonathan Young as this big YouTube vocalist, and that's it. I didn't
Yeah.
even know what he does, what type of music he did, or anything. We got him on Centuries. I went into his like Spotify, started listening to some stuff, and like I'm like, wow, this guy is incredible. I didn't I before then, I didn't listen to like heavy metal or like rock a lot. But he got me into listening to that type of music, and now I listen to like Disturbed and other similar bands like that.
He's
But yeah,
incredible.
Jonathan Young,
He's
he
incredible.
he is a huge inspiration to me, and one day I hope to cross paths with him.
I mean, that's likely, I would say. We keep going down this path. I mean, he's
I
with
would hope
Bobby
so.
and Colum in LA
Right now,
right now,
yeah,
hanging out.
yeah.
Okay, Jonathan Young, very cool. All right,
Mhm.
this is from my mom, who is a
Hello.
supporter of yours as well. Thank you, Marwan, for chatting with Pete. She calls me Pete. People from my childhood call me Pete. Everyone else calls me Peter.
Nice.
Your voice is so beautiful, and I cannot wait to listen to the interview. I would love to know more about your childhood family. We've done this. How do you get into writing, producing, and singing music? We've done this. Do you have musical family? Yes, answered that. What is your favorite musical genre? That's a good one. And what instrument do you play or would you like to learn? Thank you again. You are immensely talented. So, favorite genre and instruments you play and instruments you'd like to learn.
Favorite genre? I don't have a specific answer. I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to acapella. I listen to metal. Believe it or not, I really like 90s gangster rap, like Ice Cube and
Hell yeah.
Iggy and Tupac and stuff like that. Michael Jackson. What genre would that be? Pop.
Yeah.
Many different genres. I don't have like a specific one that I listen to all the time. What instruments do I play? Guitar, piano, and bass. And I
Cool.
wouldn't say I'm like really good at any of them. I just know my way around the strings of a guitar or the keys of a piano. That's
And
it. I'm
and,
not
and do
like
you want to
professional.
learn any new instruments?
Honestly, I want to learn the instruments I play right now. Like I want to
Fair
get
enough.
proficient at like the bass. It's like hanging right there.
I feel the same way
Uh,
about guitar.
mhm. Yeah, but I'm not really interested in learning more instruments.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay, this is from Grace. Grace Files. We've already answered this, so we can probably move past it. But what inspired you to get into music creation?
Okay, I'm gonna answer a different question here.
Okay.
I have a little story actually about how I got into acapella. I don't think I've mentioned
Oh,
this
cool.
anywhere before. Okay, but the 2017, there was this movie that came out, Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like the life story of Freddie Mercury and the band Queen. And the lead actor in that movie was Rami Malek. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is actually Egyptian. So when that movie came out, it gained a lot of traction over here in Egypt, and he won an Oscar for his role as Freddie Mercury. And obviously, as an Egyptian, I was like, "Whoa, this guy's doing
Yeah.
great. Let me check out this movie." Before I checked out the movie, I just searched Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't know the song. I didn't know Queen. I
Oh,
didn't know
wow.
yeah. That was back in 2017. I listened to the song. I was like, "Oh my god, this is a masterpiece." I just fell in love with it. Kept listening to it for a few days, and then just one day I was like, "Oh, let me just look for some covers of Bohemian Rhapsody." Then I stumbled onto a little group called Pentatonics, and I watched their cover of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I kid you not, the entire 6 minutes I was just sitting there, my jaw to the floor, admiring what these people can produce with just their voices. It was astonishing to me. Especially Avi. I was really focused on what Avi's doing, like the bass. I was
Yeah.
instantly gravitated towards the bass. Like I don't know
Mhm.
how or why. Uh, but that was pretty much it. I just listened to that cover, went down the acapella rabbit hole, basically. Discovered all these different groups, Home Free, Voice Play, discovered Tommy P, discovered the Bass Singing Nation. Um, and yeah, the rest is history.
Cool. Oh, well, that was a great answer to the question. Little origin story.
Yeah.
Okay, from a different Amanda, if you wouldn't have gotten into music, what area of study would you have gone into?
Probably something related to graphic design or video editing.
So something
These,
artistic still.
yeah. These, I was actually planning to like, before I decided that I want my career to be music based, I was very determined to be a graphic designer.
Hmm.
Um, because like I'm pretty good at that, and I never thought music would go anywhere more than just like a hobby or something that I do for fun. But look at where we are now.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, so graphic design or video editing.
cool. All right, this is from Nora.
Hi,
So
Nora.
for both of us, what absolute miracle would it be required for the bass gang to increase output capacity? Well, we are most definitely doing that this year.
We're trying. Yes.
We are very much trying. So we have If I Had a Heart, and then we put out
The
Valentine's Day,
documentary.
the Valentine's Day
Yeah, the barbershop tag.
barbershop tag, the documentary, Skull and
Skull and
Bones.
Bones. And then May. Do we have anything for May?
I feel like might end up coming out in May.
Probably.
So let's say five so far, five things, and then all of Volume 4. It's 9. I've already made 2 songs for the bass gang for the fall, so that's 11. And then we've already
Yeah.
already recorded a Christmas song that we couldn't release last year. Maybe we'll be able to release it this year. That'll be up to you again. We'll see what the world looks like at that point.
Yeah.
So that would be a project a month, which is the same as what VoicePlay does, basically,
There we go. That's your answer right there.
which is significantly more than everything we've done
It's a
in the past.
massive jump. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that will happen. And then I'm going to go to the last question here because I think it's funny. What is it like knowing that fans have met members of the group before you have?
Oh God.
Roasted.
Is this Nora again?
This is Nora.
Obviously it is. Okay. No comment. Next question, please.
Okay, this is from Layla Finderup Brawa. I know from my holiday there that Cairo has a lot to offer. So would it be a possibility for the base gang to meet there in the future?
Okay, I mean, as much as I don't like it, but if we do end up meeting in Egypt, it would be in Cairo
Yeah,
because Cairo is like the media district of Egypt, basically. All the film crews, all the production studios you'll find in Cairo.
I think we should.
Yeah, yeah, I would hope so.
You know, if we do like a, well, we'll see. We'll have to see in a couple of years what's possible. But I mean,
Mhm.
the rest of us could get there now, which is what's so enticing about it. And it's
Yeah,
affordable, as you've told us.
it is so affordable.
All right, this is from, let's see, Sören Wetzold, I think, if this person is German.
Uh-huh.
Um, do you, Marwan, have any kind of hobbies outside of the music world? And that's our last Patreon question.
Mm, Okay, I wouldn't call myself like an avid gamer, but I really like video games. And when I get into a video game, it is gonna be all I do every day for like I don't know, like you've probably noticed this, but like a few weeks ago I was playing this game called Cyberpunk. If you log into Discord, you're just gonna see Marwan Ayman playing Cyberpunk for
Yeah,
like 7 hours
yeah.
every day. I finished the entire game in like a week, which took me like 70 hours of gameplay. So like 10 hours.
So no music,
So
just
yeah,
it's like either video
yep,
games or deep in music.
or sleep. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm not like a huge gamer, but when I get into a game, it is all I do. That's something. And then wrestling obviously is a huge part of my life. I follow that extensively. Other than that, not much. I like watching different YouTube videos. There's a bunch of channels that I follow. Um, yeah, nothing really specific. Just
Marwan listens
music,
to every episode of
wrestling,
this
games.
podcast, loves this podcast.
Actually, yes. Yeah, that's true. Bro, I
I love
love
that.
the Eric Whitaker episode
Dude,
and the Big Rev episode.
we get so jacked up about electronic music. It's so funny.
Yeah, so unexpected as well.
I know. What an amazing guy. Also in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Mako is also in Los Angeles. I was like, that is a hub, man. It's so expensive though, dude. You
Yeah.
wouldn't believe. So I kid you not, because I'm in the process
Mhm.
of looking for a house now to buy a house. Very likely going to be actually here in Phoenix. Um, just
Okay.
for fun, I'll look at places in Los Angeles. Really to
Oh
live there
boy.
in any kind of nice place in like LA proper. I think Jonathan and Colum, they live still very in a very expensive areas, but it's a farther enough outside of like downtown to where it's more reasonable. But I
Okay.
kid you not, you can get like a two like a small 2 to 3 bedroom house that's not even that nice for $1 million US in like downtown
But
LA.
why? What makes no sense.
How crazy is that? And I don't know what that would be like in the Egyptian pound, but it would be a metric ton.
Dude, that would be enough for you, your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren to live the rest of their lives. And I'm not exaggerating that. Honestly.
I might move to Egypt, bro.
If you do move to Alexandria, that's all I'm gonna say.
Is Alexandria
Not
near
Cairo.
is that near the water?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, because
I'm
I
like
would
2 minutes away from like the Mediterranean Sea.
so
That's what it's called. Yeah.
I had a harebrained idea. Yeah, I was like,
Mhm.
what if just I went to Egypt to shoot videos of Marwan for our
Okay.
project and for the project I'm doing with you. And I was like, so I was just looking up
Okay.
Airbnbs for fun in Alexandria the other day. Incredibly affordable. You can get like
Nice.
a
It
hing
is
suite for like 30
crazy.
bucks a night. I was like,
Yeah.
you literally can't get a cardboard box on the side of the street here for $30 a
And it's
night.
a good looking like place. It's not like a slum or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's wild.
Mhm.
Absolutely wild. Cool, man. Hey, that wraps it up. So,
All right.
any final words to the fans, the audience before we sign off?
Um, thank you for listening. Obviously, I hope you enjoyed. And I guess go check out my latest cover, whatever it is right now, by the time this releases. And subscribe to Peter for more incredible podcasts like this one.
Like, subscribe, give us money on Patreon.
Yes.
We love you. We love
That's
you.
pretty much it. We do.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the show, and I will talk to you very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, brother.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Marwan. If you did, I am sure you'll enjoy this one as well. Check it out. Go on, click it.